A new report was just released on stimulus, and it is very interesting. There are definitely some discrepancies that we should discuss. Let's get into it. Welcome, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining me. You know the routine. I'm your daily advocate, and I'm here to help you in any way that I can through my videos. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video so I can continue to connect with you each and every day through these videos. Thank you again, and let's get into it. So this new report was just released talking about all of the stimulus that has been allocated and approved by Congress over the last 14 or so months. Did you know since early of 2020 that $6 trillion has been approved by Congress? Yeah, not many people realize that. $6 trillion has been approved. Well, of that $6 trillion, only $4 trillion of it has actually been sent out. The other $2 trillion, where did it go? Well, it's actually still sitting there. It hasn't even been allocated yet. Yeah, so for all of us who are looking for another stimulus check and or monthly recurring payments, they could just peel off, I don't know, $300 billion, $400 billion, and just allocate it right there out of that $2 trillion that's sitting there already appropriated. I don't know, sounds pretty easy to me, right? Well, of this $4 trillion that they sent out and that they've already spent, there's been a lot of people wondering, hey, what actually happened to it? $4 trillion, I don't have any in my pocket, just a bunch of lint and fuzz in my pocket. Where did it actually go? That's a really good question, but I actually have a pretty long list here that I'm going to go through with you right now, and we're going to have a little discussion on where this money actually went according to this report. Now, this report is as of May 10th. Even though I just said it's new, it was literally just released. However, it is dated the 10th. So, it probably took a little while for them to, gather all the information and kind of categorize everything. But either way, it was just released. I literally just got breaking news, and I got this whole report. So anyway, let's run through this thing. I think you're going to find it to be pretty interesting. So, of the $4 trillion, $1 trillion of it was sent out to small businesses, most of which was through the PPP, which is, if you didn't know, that is the Paycheck Protection Program. Essentially what it is, it's a stimulus check for businesses. So basically, businesses would be qualified based on their revenues from 2020 or 2019, and they would get some unknown amount of money. It could be thousands or even hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Guess what? It's also a forgivable loan. So in most situations, it does not even need to be paid back. Free money that businesses don't even need to pay back. Yeah, $1 trillion sent to them. Next, $804 billion sent out in the form of stimulus checks. So $804 billion. Take a quick guess. Of the 3 stimulus checks that we received, the $1,200, the $600, and the $1,400, which one of those do you think cost the government the most? I'll tell you. I'm guessing most people are going to say, well, the last one, right? The $1,400 probably cost them the most. Nope, it didn't. It was actually the first one. The $1,200 stimulus check cost the government the most, according to this report, $388 billion, whereas the last round of stimulus checks, the $1,400, only cost $274 billion. So basically $100 billion, $110 billion less than the $1,200. Yeah, interesting, right? Never would have guessed that one. So next on the list, $567 billion allocated for unemployment benefits. So this would be through the extension of the unemployment benefits through the time frame, as in extending them out further, as well as extending to people who typically are historically not eligible for them, like the self-employed, gig employees, contractors, those people, and then also the federal boost on top of it. So yeah, $567 billion. Next, $331 billion allocated for healthcare. $256 billion allocated for state and local governments, $231 billion allocated for schools and colleges, $73 billion, you're going to love this one, $73 billion allocated for airlines, bailing out the airlines, giving them $73 billion, $58 billion allocated for renters and homeowners, like their rental assistance, $56 billion allocated for childcare, and $52 billion allocated for nutrition assistance through the expansion of the SNAP program, as well as WIC and the PEBT. Yeah, so that's where all the money went. Now, of course, there might be a little bit of dripping here and there as far as like a little bit, a couple billion here, a couple billion there. But according to this report, this is how they allocated all of that $4 trillion. Here's the discrepancy. By the way, I'm kind of proud of myself right now. All of that I just said was off of memory. Yeah, so I've been sitting here rehearsing for like the last hour, memorizing all of those numbers. So I'm kind of proud of myself right now that I actually remembered all of that. So I'm like kind of distracted. Anyway, let's get into this. So sorry about that, but yeah. So next, what is the big discrepancy that I'm talking about? Well, did you see anything in there for, I don't know, Social Security beneficiaries? I don't know, maybe SSI beneficiaries, maybe SSDI, survivors, VA, and low-income people? Nope, didn't see anything in there. The only thing that we possibly saw within all of these categories was maybe a stimulus check. You maybe got a stimulus check, maybe some rental relief or a rental assistance with that $58 billion. I mean, realistically, probably not. I'm just being totally real with you. Most people in the categories that I advocate for here on the channel, like low income, Social Security beneficiaries, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, low income, for the most part, you probably didn't get any of that rental assistance. I mean, if you did, congratulations. I'm really glad that you grabbed some of it. But for the most part, from the research I've been doing, it looks like most people in these categories probably didn't get any of it. Yeah, really discouraging. Not only that, there was a little bit of money in here, $52 billion for nutrition assistance through the SNAP program, the PEBT, and the expansion of WIC, Women, Infant, Children. But other than that, there's nothing else in here. Whereas businesses, $1 trillion. Oh, small businesses, by the way. And this isn't like big business. This is small businesses. $1 trillion that they got of free money. Wow. So anyway, this goes to prove one more time, I mean, do we really need any more evidence to prove and to point toward additional stimulus checks and or monthly payments to those people in low income categories, Social Security beneficiaries, SSDI, SSI, survivors, VA, RRB, low income, no income? I mean, the list goes on and on. Is there anything else that we need to point to say, hey, check it out, even more evidence building our case to send out a fourth stimulus check to all of these groups, as well as monthly recurring payments? Or if you guys can't get that done, I don't know, maybe boosting some Social Security, SSI, boosting all these benefits a little bit, reforming these programs and bringing them up to the current time. Another thing with this nutrition assistance, just side note with the SNAP benefits, I've seen a lot of mixed reviews down in the comment section. I've seen some of you reaching out saying, hey, this is great. I'm getting the boost or the maximum of, as an individual, like $234 a month right now. This is great. I'm loving it. Meanwhile, some of you are reaching out saying, yeah, nothing changed here. I still get $16 a month on my SNAP benefits. Well, that doesn't really help much. I mean, $16, seriously? $16 is... what does it really get you at the grocery store? Almost nothing. But for those of you who have been getting the max, that actually helps a lot, right? Going to $234 a month, I mean, that's a huge help right there. $234 from whatever you previously were at. But either way, the point is, within all of these things that I just said, billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, going out to all these different programs, but yet nothing allocated in there for the lower income, or as they say, the most vulnerable and highest risk portion of our population. So it's just really sad to see. I don't know. I was really hoping that there'd be something in this report pointing toward like, hey, check out this program that nobody secretly knew about. It was just this program over here that so many people could have taken advantage of, but, nobody did. I was really hoping to see that, but unfortunately we didn't. But one cool thing about this whole thing is, if they actually wanted to, they have $2 trillion laying there with nothing to do with it yet. They haven't pushed it out. It's literally, according to this report, it is just sitting there. $2 trillion. They have not allocated it. They have not pushed it out yet. So who says that they couldn't reallocate that money and just, like I said at the beginning, peel off, I don't know, 300 billion, 400 billion, whatever it would really take to send out a fourth stimulus check plus monthly recurring payments to everybody that I outlined in my last couple of videos. People earning under $40,000 a year. Realistically, I don't even think it would cost $300 billion. I mean, what percentage of the population would really get a stimulus check if it was narrowed all the way down to $40,000 of income? Well, it'd probably reduce the price tag that I gave you earlier by probably, I don't know, 50, 60%, something like that. I'm not really sure the exact percentage. In fact, I'm going to look that up because I'm curious to know. But, I mean, realistically, the $1,200 stimulus check cost $388 billion, whereas the $1,400 stimulus check cost $274 billion. I mean, could we whittle the thing down to maybe, I don't know, $150 billion, $200 billion if we sent out a $2,000 stimulus check to people earning under $40,000 a year, plus another $600 a month going forward through the end of the year? It really wouldn't be that much money when you really look at it through the grand scheme of things, right? As we look at this whole thing, the big picture, $6 trillion, and we're talking about like, I don't know, 200 billion, maybe 250 billion in total to make it right and just get some relief to these people. I don't know. Seems to me like a no-brainer, you know? So the more that I look into this stuff and the more evidence that I gather, the bigger the case that I kind of build, thinking like, wow, I mean, seriously, this is like an absolute no-brainer right now, what needs to be done. Seriously. So I've been mentioning that in my last few videos here. If you want to check out that my letter that I have written, check out my last video from this morning. I have Corey, my wife, come in and read that letter. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. And thank you to all of you for the great comments and feedback on that. It's just been amazing reading through all that. I'm so glad that there's so many people supporting it. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I'm excited to send that off to Washington and hopefully get some people over there reading it. Now, again, is it going to be the influential factor saying, yes, we're going to do it because this one guy sent us a letter? No, probably not. But realistically, the more the better, right? So if I send a letter, somebody else sends a letter, they're seeing a bunch of people on YouTube or on social media talking about it. They see the petition calling for a $2,000 stimulus check. There's all of these different things, along with all the letters we've been talking about going over to the president. The more the better, pushing and saying, hey, this is the right thing to do right now. Let's just make it happen. Get what I'm saying? So either way, thought you might find this report to be very interesting. I thought it was. But anyway, check out that video from this morning and my other one from the other day titled Must Watch. And I hope you liked it. But otherwise, have a nice day, everybody. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video if you haven't done so already. And check out any other videos right here on the channel. And, of course, make sure to share that video from this morning talking about that letter. That's pretty cool. Share it with your friends, family, and social media. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next video.